So a bit of a rubbish start to this video. It's only a little update. I'm going to use this video to add to other bits, but just thought I'd share with you guys that this morning I had a couple of push notifications on my phone from my business account. I noticed a couple of transactions that went through and then were instantly reversed, so they don't show up in your bank at all. I thought it was suspect, so contacted the bank. It is an online bank, and I decided to message them just to see what was going on. Literally while I was on the messaging service to those guys, we had transaction after transaction after transaction. They kept pushing, trying to increase transactions. I think it was a computer program. Managed to get about 85% of the funds out of the business bank. I've got invoices to pay, which is a bit of a pain, but there wasn't massive amounts in there. I don't, you know, it's a small business. We're pretty new. Most of our money sort of goes in and out in stock and stuff anyway, so there wasn't massive amounts in there, but enough to cause me some problems. And now I've got to wait until the fraud investigation team. They only need to look at the transactions. There's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of attempts of various different amounts from the same place within seconds of each other. It's obviously a computer program, so that's a little bit of a start to that. So you know, my problem, it is what it is, as they say, so we'll just rise above it, no doubt, and get on. Just a bit of a pain and something I could have done without at this point in time. But quick update then, we've cleaned all the tanks, we've done all the house tanks as well, so finished those today. Plans for the rest of the week are to get that rack that I'd got a couple cycling on, get all the electrics and the pipe work fitted to that for air, get all the lighting in, all the electrics, so that we can start cycling the rest of the tanks. I'll probably use this video or this portion of video as part of that as well. I'll do a little update on post cleaning of the tanks and let you know how everything is, but I think the majority of this video is going to be setting up and cycling all those other tanks. I've got algae in the Carradina tank with Master Saw that we started to cycle, which is good, but there's a lot of ammonia. The SL Aqua tank, I have moved a couple of mixed Carradina in there just to see how they go really. I fed them a tiniest of pellets, of 3 or 4 in there, and what we'll do is, once we're satisfied that that's mature, we'll move the galaxies out of the house, or some of the galaxies, as I mentioned before. Tempted to just do the red galaxies in there, but I need other tank cycle to move the rest of them, because until I've moved the house stuff out, we can't set the other rack up, and I'm sort of desperate to get that all done, get it all finally finished, then have a big clean up in the shrimp room and carry on, get some shrimp in. I'm going to stock more shrimp, some for sale, some for breeding, and see how that goes. So enough of me talking, let's flip over, just give you a quick rundown of the tanks now that they're cleaned. So let's start on this tank. This is the one that I moved some fire reds over. They're doing really well. Cleaned most of the dead food out, haven't fed these. A few dead plants in there floating around. And then if we move over to this cycling tank, we can see there's fuzz algae growing here. I did say the other day that there's plenty of biofilm starting to form in here. This is the one that I did test, and this one's on Master Soil. Ammonia is about 2, there's no nitrite in there yet. And the plan for that one is to get all the electrics and lighting in and all the air pipes for this rack. So hopefully we can get that done this week. Bit of a whirlwind then, so just a quick look at the bloodshots. You've got the tangerines here. There is a bit of fuzz algae in there I need to deal with. There's not many shrimp in there, as we already know. And then moving over to my spotted head pintos, I have added minerals to these. So I've added a white additive just to try and enhance the mineral and the colour. Low grade fancies are doing fine. Then if we nip over to the SL tank, there's a shrimp there. As I mentioned, I've got a couple in here. They're probably over the back, but no problems as yet. Then we've got our bolts, glasses all clean, and the tanks have had the water changes. Mixed Carradina doing well. The stick has gone from the fire red Neo tank. I do need to cut back the moss a little bit, but they're doing fine. I did get moaned up for dirty glass, but the purpose of the last video was to show you guys sort of instantly post holiday. And then my experiment tank is doing fine. I did address some issues in the PWL tank, the pure white line. I have lost a couple of these. Everything seems to be on par now. The fancy tigers that are breeding pretty well. And then lastly my PRL. So I've added a powdered mineral. Can't remember the name of it. So this is the product. It's by Borneo Wild. I don't know if you can still get this. It's called White Supplement, and it's a supplement to give in tanks that have white shrimps, like grey powder. So just followed the directions on that and sprinkled that in. That was given to me by my good friend Rob, so thank you Rob for that. And it was quite a while ago, but I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I don't tend to throw anything away, much to my downfall, I suppose, because I end up with stuff all over the place. But Borneo Wild, it's called White, it's a white supplement. We also have plenty of feeds that sort of do similar things. So chitins, a mineral. I've got Shrimps Forever White, we've got SL Aqua White, we've got Quoll Drop Vital White. So all of these do a similar thing. Apologies for the noise in the background, the AC unit's just kicked in, which is brilliant because it's really hot outside. So I think outside it's 27 degrees and in here we're around 23 degrees. So let's move on to the next portion of the video. Okay folks, so it is actually the next day here. It's a little bit of work that we've done. I'll just give you a quick update. We've got this rack ready to set up. So I've moved the air pump up there. We've run a cable across the top. I've had to suspend the pipe there with some cable ties. The top rack's going to have this Nicro light on. And then what we've done, I don't know if you can sort of see the reflection of those, is we've put some little light bars in at different angles, sort of across the tanks and stuff. Got a bit of rattling going on here, and I need to clip some of the cables up, but these are pretty much what we've set up. The bottom ones we've moved. They're all different colours, so these are pure white, sort of daylight. These ones are more geared for plants, and then that's a blue and white, whereas that's a full plant one. And the idea is that what we'll do is all of these run off one plug, apart from obviously the Nicro at the top. So what the plan is to get the rest of these sort of set up and cycled, or start to cycle over the next few days. So it's about 8 o'clock in the evening. It's took me pretty much all day to get these done. You have to actually take the rack apart because they're so tight, the tanks, you have to lift them out, and you can't lift them out with the beams above them. I do need to do a little bit of work, so I'll where these cables are, etc., I'll clip these up to get these out of the way. And the bottom ones are on clips. So just a quick update. I'll start sort of recording, setting these tanks up. I need to clear all the rubbish out of them and get the sponges in, etc. But we're pretty much ready to go with these and get this whole rack cycling. I think that I'm going to do the 3 left ones as Neo tanks for sale, or Neos and Amanos, and then the right hand rack I'll do all of those as Caradina. So I'm going to try different soils. At the bottom we've got Master Soil. I think I'm going to use a Platinum soil. I'll use an Aqua Help soil, and I think I might have some Amazonia left. But if I've got Amazonia left, I'll use the Amazonia. So that's the plan anyway. Hopefully tomorrow we'll sort of get these, finalised and start well. So see you tomorrow, guys.
later.
So it's about 4 hours later, we're still filling tanks up. I'm just doing these slowly through a 25 litre bucket. We're on the 4th of the 6 tanks. I'll just flick the camera and sort of show you guys those as well. So we've filled these two, they're just running and clearing. I have put the lids on. The water flows different in each tank on different ways, so we look at this one as an example, and then this one, once I switch it on, will flow another way. I've disturbed the substrate a little bit here. And then finally, these were outshot on the last ones. We've got these two up at the top, and I'll get these done. I've got a 100 litre water container, which is what I use for my RO water, and I've got 3 or 4 25 litre drums as well that I store every once in a while, and we've actually used those up, so I've got to wait for RO water. I use salty shrimp mineral in the Neo tanks, and I used Qualdrop LC, Qualdrop GH plus LC in the Carradina tanks, and that's pretty much my go-to mineralizer. So we'll get these done. It'll probably be tomorrow when I finish these, and I'll give you guys a bit of an update. So until tomorrow, speak to you soon. So the mineral used for the Neo Carradina tanks is shrimp mineral GHKH plus by Salty Shrimp. We do stock the smaller tubs of these. It's quite difficult to get into the UK, this is, but we have a few of them anyway. So let's just bring this video to a close. I'll give you a quick look at the tanks that have been set up, what the rest of the plans are. At the start of this video I mentioned that I got my business account rinsed by fraudsters. That's now been resolved. The bank refunded the money themselves, but the actual card payments have been reversed as well. So a lot of money in the account at the moment, double what there should be, but I have notified the bank, and I'm just going to wait for those to sort of take that out. So I'm just going to quickly flip the camera, guys, an idea of what we've done. So this rack, and apologies for the high tank, so this rack's been set up. Left 3 tanks there, not the top one, are all going to be Neos. So I've got inert substrate on those. I've used Sechem fluorite. So I've used Sechem fluorite black, Sechem fluorite sand for that one. So I'm planning on getting some blue Neos in there. I need to tidy the electrics up. And then Sechem fluorite black again. Down the bottom we've got a tank that we know is already cycling, so that one's on master soil. I have labelled these ones. The one above that's on platinum soil, the one above that's on help soil, and then the top 2, if you can read that, are both on Amazonia. So the only one of these was set up today, a little bit cloudy. The filters are running. They'll settle, you know, they will settle. I've got some electrics to just sort of resolve here. I need to extend over a little bit. I'm going to change the way the pipe works. So the way that at the moment I've got that's going to be redone for the airlines. I'm going to strap that to the tank. That black box is the air pump. And then I'm going to put a T-piece on there, so I'll get piping come over here. So all that's really left to do here, obviously these type tanks need to cycle, is I've got another one of those racks in the house that's going to go there. It's got 2 90s on at the moment. One's full of galaxies and one's a planted fish tank, so it's a proper planted aquarium with CO2. I have ordered a stand for that. That's going to remain in the house, and I want to get the galaxies moved over. So the plan is I'm going to move them over into this tank. There's quite a few galaxies, but I'm going to do a water change on that before I do that. I just need to get that other rack in here. We've got 7 more of those tanks coming on Tuesday, and then I can move some of these off onto that new rack and set this up accordingly. So I'll give you an update on that as and when that happens. I'll keep an eye on these tanks. We are testing these, so we know what months. I've got written down what dates. Just as an add-on, I have added to each of these to try and get some biofilm going of the Carradina tanks. I've added an Indian almond leaf to those, and that's to all of them. And then I had some cholla come in, and there was a bit, so I've got some teddy bear cholla in stock. I've got on the website, and normal cholla, so thick chunky cholla and normal cholla, that's going to go up on the website today hopefully. so that'll be available. And this piece was a bit ropey, to say the least, very thin, skeletal. So what I've done is I've soaked that, and I've got some epiphyte plants in the house. So I've got a clump of Bucephalandra, can't think what it's called, but I've got a clump of a mini Bus, and I'll sort of break that up and I'll spread that out through these tanks. I don't really want to put it in while I've got the tanks the way they are because of algae, etc. And we have been using the AC unit because it's been really warm. So the room here, even with the AC on, is 25 degrees. But if I can show you the tanks, let's see if that'll focus. Let's try and get it focused on another one. So my tanks are running at 22. So it is working. My AC is sort of keeping them. They are still a little bit warm. I could lower the temp on the AC unit. I've got it at 21. Need to rethink how we did the ducting, because at the moment that ducting's getting very warm, so one half of the room is warm and one isn't. And I think the plan is I'm going to get a hole cutter, put a 6-inch wall plate in, and we'll go directly out the wall so it isn't running across ducting and heating that ducting up. So realistically what's happening at the moment is I'm cooling one half of the room and the other side of the room's warming, so it's negating the benefit of that. It's working slightly, but just need to rethink that, and we know what we need to do down there. So just a bit of an update. As always, if you've enjoyed it, hit the like button. You're welcome to share any of our videos, and if you're not already a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe and switch the notifications on. The aim is to put out at least one video a week, and we'll sort of go along with those. I know we've set up a lot of tanks quite quickly, and I haven't sort of gone through the process of cycling algae, etc., but I'll do that as we go. So as with always, thanks for watching everybody. I'll keep you updated. Until next time.